to. All right, come on. You're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Hey, Dol.
Hey, Rosebud. Pretty crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're in the words of the famous Chris Martin from Coldplay, which I absolutely love their music. Either those two are having an affair or they're very shy. And welcome to the Do We Have To crew. We got a very special episode today. Last week, we were in the process of, really exploring self-improvement, self-growth.
Yeah.
And we were focusing on personal mission statement. We had mentioned in the previous episode, hey, we walked through doing all of that. We're going to do writing a family mission statement. We're going to talk through that. And Emily and I were going to give an example for our family. Then the fucking internet lost its mind when
very quickly
CEO of Astronomer, what the fuck is his goober's name again? You think Andy Byron, right?
Yeah.
Was caught at a Coldplay concert on a date with his chief people officer.
His HR chief.
Right. Well, chief.
We're saying people officer.
That's her title.
I know, but it's just weird name you gave her. Kristen. He was out with Kristen.
Yeah, Kristen Cabot. So it behooved us, considering that there was all types of implications. Not only was this something that has gone viral, there's been millions of hilarious memes of various celebrities and people that have beef with each other getting caught in the Coldplay picture. But it actually has something to do with marriage. So Emily and I jumped on that and decided we wanted to dive into the world of these two individuals. We wanted to learn about them. We wanted to be able to provide you guys a scoop. And I have some pretty interesting theories about who I believe is really at fault. And I have specific research as to why. So all that and more on today's wonderful show.
But yeah,
right.
Down the rabbit hole we went.
Well, we're going to go. To everybody listening to Do We Have To crew, and to anybody if it's your first time, welcome to Do We Have To, a marriage podcast. I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Emily.
Emily, it was all a dream. Miller.
Yeah.
The matriarch of the Miller family, the Sultan of Swag.
No.
The CEO of the Miller Inc., Emily Miller.
Damn right.
That's right.
I run this bitch.
This is not Actual Family Studios production. Executive producer is Colin.
Maskell.
Very aggressive.
Oh, okay.
Did write his own personal mission statement, which we will share on the show next week. Schmedium Maskell.
I liked his a lot. So I'm excited for that next week.
I mean, I'm fine with it. I'm still a little piffed with him, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
And
Well.
if you don't mind, can I explain why before we get into the topic of the show today?
No, I'd rather not.
So anyway,
Okay.
Thank you, Emily. I appreciate you
go.
giving me the time to express myself as a man and as a human being, and I really appreciate that.
Anytime,
Just universe out there, Colin's wonderful, beautiful wife, who is like sister to me, she just recently celebrated a birthday. And she had mentioned when we were asking what she would like, that she may want a pet.
Oh, yeah.
A cat.
A cat.
And I'm that type of friend. If you're my actual friend, I consider your family, and they're family to me. And so typically whatever you ask for in that regard, if I have a way of accomplishing that goal, I'm going to do it. And so I think Katie may have said that off the cuff as a joke. I took it and ran with it and told Emily we got to go find a cat for Aunt Katie. And we started talking to her about what kind of cat she would like. Well, come to find out, when Colin and Katie and their family were all out on vacation, I get a very, very long, very, very, very aggressive text from Colin, Schmedium Maskell, in regards to, I don't know how you think it's okay. How could you do this to me and my family? You've betrayed my trust on every level possible. If you ever, ever, ever threaten to bring me a pet to my home, and he actually said to my abode, which I thought was really, really pretentious.
Yeah.
To my abode ever again. Not only will I not edit the podcast and I will not support it as an executive producer, but I will repossess all your podcast equipment. Which I then replied, hey, I actually bought this podcast equipment. And he said specifically, this is what he said to me. He goes, lions aren't interested in the opinions of sheep.
Okay. So she did kind of sort of ask for a cat, but one that also had like baby possums on the back of it. So
right.
We were going to handle the cat, and I think Aunt Jess was going to handle the possum situation. Right. But regardless.
But Colin singled me out and decided to yell at me and tell me and shame me about even thinking about getting him a pet.
Yeah. Regardless, we weren't going to get a cat.
I was on board to do it. And Colin knows I would. That's why Colin went after me.
Because we can't logistically get a cat. Like I was, because we can't.
Practically giving them out everywhere. They're fucking all over the place here in the state.
I guarantee you, if we walked in their forest, we could find one on our own.
I know. That's my point. They're all over the place.
Like, we can't take them a cat. Like, that would be.
Why couldn't you take them a cat? Do We Have to crew? Go to dowehavето.com. Let us know. Do you think it is reasonable to show up to somebody's birthday party and give them a pet without fully talking to their significant other, spouse, or family about it?
No.
Because they might have jokingly around said they wanted one?
No.
dowehavето.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he did message and said specifically no cat, that he cannot.
I'm glad you're paraphrasing the fucking nightmare of a series of text messages I received from him that I lost sleep over.
You didn't lose sleep over?
I'm not even looking forward to looking him in the eye the next time I see him. So, it's going to be a real awkward exchange when we get him all the video and the audio for this episode, and I have to just go and just take the lashing as a common man in comparison to Colin.
Well, standards.
Yeah. Anyway. And again, today's show, guys, is brought to you on YouTube, youtube.com/@ Do We Have to a Marriage Podcast. And I know as much as you guys like hearing me not complain, but be transparent about Colin and I's relationship and explain how he can be as a human being and an individual, that's not why we're here today.
No.
We are here to break down and speculate wildly about the recent high-level, viral uncovering of an affair that's happening between two very prominent human beings. Yeah. Not so much prominent as far as like they were media sensations, but one person who is married to a very, very, very well-known and a long historied Bostonian family, and another one who was a CEO of a company. And of course, she's an executive as well. And having their affair displayed pretty much to the whole world, not just at a Coldplay concert.
Love and betrayal.
So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to break down who are these two individuals. As you can tell, even though I've actually spent multiple hours studying their lives, I continually, and I am terrible with names, I continually forget them. And we're going to, right. We're going to break them down. We're going to give you guys an overview of kind of where they came from, what they used to do, how they rose to power, and how they inevitably fell. And from there, we are also going to, I'm going to at least explain to you why I think this happened the way it happened, who was potentially more responsible than the other. And then ultimately, Emily did some digging and found the statement that Andy's wife has recently set out. So we're going to read that to you guys.
It was allegedly written by her, but it was...
We're just going to say it was. So legally, she wrote it.
She deleted her accounts, but then this showed up and her accounts were deleted. So...
Like somebody screenshot it or?
Yeah, essentially. So
she was pissed. She had a couple glasses of wine.
I don't think there was any... She fucking
fired off a page.
I mean, if this really did come from her, I want to be her friend because that's a boss moment right there.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. But essentially, just to tee it up for everybody, if you've been living under a rock for the last fucking week and a half, or however long it's been, I guess now, right?
About a week.
Coldplay concert that was happening out in the Northeast. Kiss cam turned on. It's actually pretty funny. The video, there's a goofy guy. It's not goofy. God, I'm being such a judgmental prick. Sorry. It's just a guy that looked like he was having fun times on the Kiss cam by himself, which is interesting. And he's like, ah. And then it immediately pans to these two. They're wrapped around in a very seductive embrace. And then instead of trying to play it cool.
They were just clearly very comfortable with each other in a loving way.
I don't know why every time I start talking about these two, it's like I'm insulting your golf buddies. Like, they did something wrong. So let's just break it down.
Okay.
Okay. Great. Okay. They're comfortable with each other. They're comfortable doing what they were doing, and I think it's awesome. And this isn't to shit on anybody who's cheated. It's an unfortunate thing when your whole personal life is put on camera. But as people who do that ourselves, I mean, it's part of the deal, right? So you want to make $60 to $70 million a year, which is insane. This fucker had that much money. And you want to, be a bigwig, and you want to go and flaunt your stuff at a Coldplay concert. Shit like this can happen, right?
Yeah.
So when the Kiss Cam turned on to them, unfortunately, a global spectacle occurred. The tech CEO, Andy Byron, and his HR chief or chief people officer, as they've both been described or positioned. I didn't go, I should have gone on their fucking company website, which I did. You'd think all the research I did, I would have gone to their company website and confirmed if it's chief HR resource officer or is it chief? Either fucking way, it doesn't matter.
I did that, and she was the chief HR.
Okay, Chief, thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it. Chris and Cabot found themselves at the center of an unexpected scandal. One that cost careers, marriages, and sparked worldwide conversation about ethics, power, and personal accountability. I don't think it sparked it that much. I think it more created a lot of opportunity for memes and GIFs.
Yeah, a lot of people made jokes about it, and my favorite one was when people started circulating the Modern Family episode.
Oh, when he's at the
Phil
Lakers game?
Yeah.
And she gives him a kiss?
Yeah.
And he does the thing. It's like, well, whatever happens on the Kiss Cam, that's the business in the stadium.
In the game.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. So again, in this episode, we're going to deep dive into these lives behind the viral moment, not just make fun of it, but actually kind of get an understanding of who these human beings are, what we're losing our minds over, and eventually get to the point of kind of coming to a conclusion as far as how we got here and how that relates to marriage and how we as married couples can learn from this event. I mean, I think that's the ultimate thing, right?
How it ripples out, like the actual true effects of it.
Yes. Yeah, that's a very good point. I think ultimately, before we dive into the details on these two, that's a very good point, is you are really being able to see on a world stage the effects of making that decision of having another relationship outside of your family.
Yeah.
And I think that is the ultimate thing. So I think if there's a blessing in all of this, even though it's unfortunate that these two are dealing with the aftermath and the fallout of that, not that I feel bad for them, but at the same time, we're all human beings. We all fuck up. We all make mistakes.
Yeah, everybody needs a little bit of
I'm not
grace.
going to pretend as if I'm a perfect person, which I think a lot of people are doing in this situation and just shitting on them. However, it is really important to see that while something is exciting and fun and I guess, I don't even know what to say, romantic, whatever it may be, there's a lot more to think about than just, being in a relationship with somebody else. Mm-hmm. And we're going to talk about how that affects them. I mean, these people had children, they had marriages, right? So yeah. Okay. So with that being said, who would you want to dig into first? Because I can jump. We got paper, so I can jump back and forth. Do we want to do Andy, or we would like to jump in and get specifics on our wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Miss Kristen?
I found her story a little bit more interesting.
You found her story more okay. I mean, we're going to talk about both of them, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, let's jump over to Kristen then. Okay. So let's talk about Kristen, and we got a bunch of good research on her. So let me turn this over here because I was planning on talking about him first, but as normal, Emily, she calls the shots. So Kristen Cabot, Chief People Officer, astronomer, which is funny because again, Chief People Officer, Chief Human Resource Officer. So let's just get an understanding of her. Where did she do? What's her education background? What did she do her entire career, right? She actually holds a Bachelor of Arts in Political Science from Gettysburg College. Mm-hmm. She has 20 years HR experience with leadership roles in Observe IT, Proofpoint, Neo4j. And in Neo4j, just FYI, so she's not like some small potatoes HR person by the time she gets to Neo4j. No. She actually grew a company from 225 individuals to 900, which if anybody has that kind of understanding or background, when you're tripling the size of a company, right, and a little bit more than that, that's a huge deal. It's a huge initiative to take. And I imagine from an HR, it's like being part of a startup and then going to a publicly traded company and doing a lot of that initial foundation or structure setup on your own, right?
Yeah,
or at least from a leadership perspective.
It's impressive.
Yeah. And so she describes herself, as far as what I've seen in interviews, as a people strategy leader focused on aligning culture and values across organizations. Didn't say that on her LinkedIn profile, but I've seen it on multiple articles.
I didn't go to LinkedIn. I should.
There's not, they kind of have I don't know how to explain it. There's not as much information you think to it. It's weird. It's almost like they've been kind of blocked, but not blocked.
Oh, so they must have done something where it's a bit that there was a lawyer that wiped them clean the second they popped up on.
Maybe so. I don't know. But they have control over their own accounts, so I don't know. I didn't know if there was like a feature where you could limit what somebody can see. Because most of the time with LinkedIn, you can see a full profile. For some reason, they're a little bit more guarded or shaded. So now let's get down into the personal, which this is interesting because we're going to start seeing a pattern here, okay? Recently, she was actually divorced from her first husband.
Yeah, in 2022.
Kenneth Thornberry. So only a few years, right? She then remarried. She's married to an Andrew Cabot. Mm-hmm. He's the CEO of Privateer Rum and an heir to a Boston Brahmin lineage. And they purchased a $2.2 million home in Rye, New Hampshire earlier in 2025. So it's not as if there was writing on the wall or things happening where there's long-term things happening. Buying a home, all this. Are you going to keep hitting the mic every 5 seconds?
I'm very
sure?
sorry.
Because Colin's not going to like that.
I know. I'm sorry.
But there's no long-term things happening here. We're buying, it's not, hey, our relationship seems to be on the rocks. We're not going to make any additional long-term decisions or anything of that nature. It's very much full steams go. We're married. We're buying a fancy house in New Hampshire, which a $2.2 million home, even in the Northeast, which cost of living is a little bit higher. That's a pretty nice fucking house.
Yeah.
And then we get to the current event as it is, right? And she has one child from her previous marriage. It said at least one in the research, which I thought was weird. So
there were several pictures of her and her current husband that circulated online where there was 2 children present, a daughter and a son.
Oh.
And
is that like a niece?
Uh-huh.
Are we confirmed she has a daughter or a son?
No, we are not confirmed on what child came from the first marriage. We just know for sure she has one biological child from her first marriage. My assumption is purely an assumption is that the other child is her current husband's child from a previous relationship. They both looked very similar in age, and I would say like tweeny to teeny age, like not high school and above, but definitely upper middle school to lower middle school age range. But I don't know their ages for sure. Their faces were always blurred in the photos that I found, but I couldn't find a whole lot online about her current husband. I was looking in the wrong
they're
spot.
Very prominent family. I mean, it's a company.
It kept going back to what the
they're old money.
Yeah, like what the heir kind of status really means. She's definitely, I saw one that I didn't really think was super credible, but it showed their prenup agreement. And I don't know.
Maybe that's why you don't give a shit and you're at a Coldplay concert with your boyfriend because regardless,
the one that
you didn't get anything anyway.
The one I saw, she made out pretty good.
Oh, really? Well, I mean, we don't even know what they're going to end up doing because at this moment in time,
I never saw like
anything.
An agreement on what like an affair would do to the prenup, but I can imagine that it null and voids. I don't know. I don't know how prenups work. So,
well, I know you have a statement from Andy's wife,
I do.
But there was nothing communication wise from, and that makes sense because if you're a traditional, old school, really well-to-do family that has a long lineage, you're not fucking going to social media to respond to what happened, right?
No, so there's a legacy to protect on that one.
Right. So there's been no response or things I've seen out there, at least from the husband.
Right. And I don't think we will.
Right. I don't think we're going to hear from that either. I assume we'll find out if they continue on with the relationship. I'm sure news outlets will get a hold of that. But other than that, there's not going to be anything, I assume, like there's not going to be any official statements or anything from
I highly doubt
the
it.
husband. I would doubt
that
as
no.
well. Yeah. No, I agree. And then so And then, of course, she is currently now, if we want to talk about like from a career perspective of where she's at, being the chief human resource officer, she reported directly to Andy.
Yeah.
Which is very interesting and creates a huge ethical concern when it comes to the fact you are fucking your boss. Mm-hmm. So the thing is that she's actually right now, she's still with the company. Technically, she's on administrative leave. Did you know that?
Yeah, no, she hasn't been.
I don't think they know what to do with her yet.
They haven't released a statement of her resignation or anything like that, at least not publicly yet. But
well, she wasn't the position of power though either. So I do feel like you have to go through the process a little bit more.
No, but she is the one to enforce a lot of those company rules and standards and values of what that company is. I mean, human resources, if you got a problem, that's who you go to. And so
human resources, I just feel like I don't want to get into a huge debate about human resources, and no offense to anybody who works at human resources, because I'm sure you are people focused, but at the end of the day, human resources is in place to protect the company, not the people.
She clearly wasn't protecting the company here.
Well, that's fair, but for human resources, to educate and support the people that work there, but you're aligning with the company goals, and ultimately you're going to side with the company. I mean, that's what HR is not a representative of the employees. They are a supporter of the employees. They are a representative of the company, in my opinion.
If she were smart or the company were smart, they'd let her go and they would keep it quiet and it would be fine.
I think they should actually end-to-end investigate it and determine, did she do any changes, update any type of policy, do anything at all that would associate her relationship with Andy creating a complexity or an issue where she made a poor judgment. As soon as they find it, even the smallest thing, you fire. If they don't, I don't know if they should. I really don't. And I mean, I'm sure there's people out there like, that's stupid, you're an idiot, just fire her right away. But I mean, again, she was not the person in power. If she hasn't done anything, if she's done her job to the T and she's just having an outside relationship, it's not a good look. It's not good optics, but you can't just fire. I feel like that would leave her potentially open for wrongful termination. If we have any lawyers out there that listen to the show, and I know Lama is on our Peloton team, go to dowehavето.com. I'd actually like to know what the legal expertise is of this and why the company may be holding up making a decision on whether they forcefully make her departure, and why she may be not resigning. Because again, she could have just resigned. There may be a reason why she's not doing that either.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
No.
Anyway, it's just something to think about, right? And since I broke down and did a lot of talking on the lady side of things, why don't you break down Andy? You want to go over his info? What are you doing?
Sure.
Oh, geez.
I gotta go back in my papers. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. We can do is we can do.
So he is from Hanover, Massachusetts. He went to. He started as a.
And by the way, I want to make it clear too. They're both in their 50s. He's 51, and I think she's 50. Not that it really matters, but
I have no idea how old they are.
I literally just said it.
Yeah. Anyways,
I just said what it was in classic wife fashion. You don't believe a word I say.
I gotta fact check. Yeah. He was the COO at Fuse and a CRO at Cybereason.
Can we break down some years on that? So when did he when did he do Fuse?
I don't remember.
2015 to early 2017. And then how about, do you have the info on Cybereason? Or Cybereason?
Not
27 to 2019.
Okay. And then in 2023, he became the CEO of Astronomer. And so that with his leadership, it rose the company's value near $1.3 billion.
And they expanded internationally at the time. I think they moved into London, England as well from the US.
Yes. The public persona was that he was a sales-driven and ambitious. Insiders did, however, call his leadership style as toxic.
Now, can I say something about this? I love when people are described this way. And it's so funny because I will side with women. If this was a woman and they were describing a woman that had the same type of background and expertise, they would say it's a negative, right? So what was it again? It was
He was toxic.
No. What did you just say about him being sales driven or whatever?
Sales driven and ambitious.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So he's a cutthroat asshole is what they're saying. Okay. So this dude is going to do whatever he can to get the results that he wants, regardless of thinking about long-term strategic initiatives. And I say that because, and we'll talk about this here in a little bit more, when we get a little bit more depth into this guy, but I went and did digging on things that occurred after he had left all the places that Emily had just mentioned that he went. And it's very interesting. And there's quite a fun narrative to tell there.
Go for it.
No, keep going. Let's go in his do you have the info on his personal life or you want me to jump into it?
You jump.
Okay.
My papers are all out of order.
No, you're good. No worries. That's the price we pay for doing paper. Paper does not sponsor the show, by the way.
Somebody broke our iPad too.
He's married to Megan Kerrigan.
Yeah.
And which she does go by her maiden name now, which
Yeah.
I actually thought that was a super fucking baller move. And I know we're going to talk about her in a minute, but she did. She removed off her socials. She started using her last name like right after. It wasn't like, hey, I'm going to stand by him or whatever. It's like, no, you made your fucking decision.
Yeah.
And I thought that was fantastic. So big up to you, Megan. I think that is awesome. And I think it's very healthy and good for you for setting that boundary right off the bat and being you.
Yeah.
She actually is an associate director at Bancroft School, which I'm not sure what that is. I didn't really dive into that for her.
I believe it's a private school.
And they have 2 children together. Andy has 2 children with her, and they all live in Northborough, Massachusetts, which I assume is a suburb of Boston.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Should have checked that, but I did not. His net worth, this is what gets me here, okay? So the guy goes in these places, and he's a fucking asshole, in my opinion. And again, I'll go into a little bit deeper on this, but basically he's an asshole. He brings people with him. They get really good short-term results. He fucks the company's culture up, and then he bails. And this is essentially what he does, right?
Well, but he also brings a lot of revenue in
the short term.
Yeah.
Now, then he leaves, right? And moves on, right? Okay. And then this fucker doing this. So basically being a piece of shit consistently throughout his entire life and kind of just taking what he wants and doing what he wants and kind of pushing his agenda and not being a decent human being, which, just not good characteristics, not good character traits we're seeing on paper here. Guy's worth 50 to 70 million. So it does pay, apparently, to be just a terrible human being. And he has an annual salary on average, as this time has gone, of $469,000 to $690,000 projected.
Yeah.
And that's going to, of course, depend on bonuses, performance, all that sort of shit, right? But that's on average throughout his career.
Right.
Yeah. So, it's just not good. But here's the thing, right? So if I can say, and let me just make sure.
The thing I found interesting was Page 6 did like a deep dive into him, and they found out like through all of the companies that he's had like a big financial impact in, that he was very aggressive in his manner, completely destroyed
That's what I was just saying.
No, I know, but like there's not one single company that came out and said anything positive about the culture that he brought.
Well, nobody would say anything about the culture. A company's not going to go out and be like, her culture is like shit. That's why you don't get that information.
No, like he brought this. It was all about what he did financially for them. It wasn't about like the positive.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Like I want somebody that's going to bring positivity to the workplace and want people to like work for this company.
You think companies?
He didn't do any of that. He didn't draw more people in.
Oh,
Does that make sense?
Emily,
he wasn't a very.
Do you think these
nice
companies
person.
give a fuck about us pencil pushers that come in?
They should.
And do the day. They don't.
Well,
You know why? Because they all adhere to stockholders if they're a publicly traded company, or they adhere to the small percentage of ownership or whatever board, whatever it may be. It's about making money. So when you bring somebody that makes money, you overlook the negative things that they bring in if they are providing you with positive results. And that is the problem with corporate America. And it's a reason why these fucking people run roughshod. And it's fine because also, though, here's the thing. It's easy to shit and say that, but he produced results. But to your point,
it's
very good point. But no, these companies are going to come out and be like, yeah, our culture shit because this guy, you're not going to do that. You're going to talk about your revenue. You're going to talk about the things that matter that pertain to your shares and how they're going to grow or decrease. And that's what you're going to talk about. You're not going to talk about anything else. If you do talk about employee stuff or culture, it's only going to be when you get a good satisfaction score of that, when you have third parties come in and review it and you're like, oh, we're a gold standard and our employees love working for us. You know what I mean? That's the things that are going to be when a company talks about it. It's never going to be, we brought this guy in and he gave us a good short term. Like, when would they ever talk about it? It would just never happen.
They did for Kristen. They talked about how she made a positive work culture.
That's different.
And brought people together and made it more engaging.
Did you not listen to anything I just said? Yes. When it's a positive, a corporate company will talk about it. If it is a negative and it doesn't have anything to do with money where they have to explain it away, they're not going to bring it up. And they're not going to, that's what I'm saying, right? Yeah. And here's the thing. And again, you have two people that are driven individuals. They did it two completely different ways.
Right.
And let me get into that, right? Okay. So here's the thing. So, and I got some specifics here. So like when he was in Cyber Reasons, okay? So his initial arrival, people are super psyched about it because of his background and his ability to bring in revenue, right? The headcount grew in regards to being able to grow as a company, and sales targets were aggressively surpassed. So you come in right away and you're just burning and churning, right? It's a common characteristic, whether you have negative personality traits or not, if you're good at sales. And he has an aggressive sales approach. So he's out there and he's just pounding the pavement kind of thing. That's the kind of guy he is, at least, from what I'm learning about him. Right. But here's the thing that's really concerning. So like I've been in companies where, somebody will come in right now and there's a bunch of changes that happen, but it has a long-term mindset. There's a growth. Might not be successful, but it's a long-term growth, right? And then there's people who come in and they just think they know everything about everything and they know what they're doing. And like they aggressively push a very short-sighted mindset about doing something. And I think you can tell really easily, like even if you, like for me, I'll be in a lowly project manager, I think you can kind of tell when you have truly an inspirational leader or somebody that's coming in to get a job done and they don't care who they step on to figure out how to get there. Yeah. Okay. And this is where it is very telling that he is the latter. Okay. Within months of being at Cyber, within months. Okay. So that means he's immediately coming in and changing things. They're just being noticed within months. Right. Yeah. So 12 weeks, the culture reportedly deteriorated. Former employees described a tense and opaque environment where dissent was tolerated, or where dissent wasn't tolerated, meaning disagree. I want yes men and women, right? And employees feared retaliation. Don't give an opinion I don't want to hear, or you're either going to be on the shit list or you're gone. Yeah. Yep. Multiple former employees said Mr. Byron would lash out against employees who disagree with him, including threatening to fire him. You couldn't challenge him. There you go. The writing's right on the wall right there. This dude is a hardcore piece of shit.
It's his way or the highway.
Yeah. I'm not saying like all the bad things in the world should happen to him and he should never have an opportunity to be successful in life, but you reap what you sow. So what you've gotten out to this point, what's happening to you right now, there is a whole collective population of people out there like, good, because you did what you behaved and lived your life the way you've done it, right? Employee sentiment, and this is everywhere, but I'm focusing here still on Cyber Season, became highly negative. People loved the company. Now they hate it. That was a quote from an employee. People loved it there. Now they hate it. Right. The aggressive culture prompted a wave of resignation. So then people started leaving. That's how bad it can. See, you can really tell when a culture really shifts. People start just jumping off the ship, and regardless of performance from a financial perspective is happening. Byron reportedly recruited his own loyal sales team from prior companies. Which that's not, I think that's weird.
I feel like that happens everywhere.
It does. You're going to bring in people that you trust. It's just what you do with them, how you integrate them with the team, or are you like, hey, these are my people and everybody else, you're here to fucking serve us, which I'm assuming is kind of more what was happening, right?
Well, and there are people that will follow bosses or influential people to a different company because they like working for them.
If my boss, to be honest, if my boss went somewhere and took a higher position somewhere else and she were interested in me coming, I would consider it because I really enjoy working. Like you do have those types of professional relationships where you believe that you're supported by your boss, or you believe in their vision.
Yeah.
And I have that, and I would do that. You know, we mentioned Alex last week on Peloton. I think she's a great leader. I really, really, really enjoyed her when I worked at Flywire. I think she is a very good, empathetic leader, and those are people that I would follow, right?
Yeah.
And then you have people like this.
Yeah. No, they can stay.
Now listen to this. So this is after the departure. Okay. So this is between 2022, 2024-ish, 2021 is when he left, I think. They weathered his exit. They did have multiple layoffs, which again, that has nothing to do with him. That's then financial. So he gave short financial term success, fucked up the culture. Then the financials go down because you're not bringing in talented people. Talented people are leaving. Guess who stays? The people that can't go anywhere else or aren't talented enough to leave, or potentially are just willing to deal with. Either way, it's not the most quality of workers typically on there. I'm sure there were some good people, but you're just looking at numbers. On average, you're talking about your bottom performers that are staying, right? And then sure enough, here come layoffs. Okay. So just that. Again, the overall verdict of all the research, even as I was writing it up, was he delivered strong performance in the short term, but it was at a significant cultural cost. Yeah. Which again, any corporate company is not going to jump in as culture is changing over a period of time. It's kind of like for the frog in the pot kind of thing. It's going to get hotter and hotter slowly, and then the frog doesn't get out, right? But they see that short-term financial gain. It's why this guy's been able to be successful and go jump to jump. But that's also why he's jumping so much too. Yeah. Right. And so, but employee morale plummeted everywhere he went under his leadership. That's no different here to this company he's currently at too. And for many, there was a relief when he left.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Kristen? Let's talk about Kristen as far as from you had mentioned, you're like, hey, what was the narrative of her where she was working, which is so interesting because it's so vastly opposite.
It is really opposite. Hang on. Gosh, dang it. Emily. I just had it.
Okay. So Kristen.
Oh, yeah. You go. It? Nope, you go.
I'm sure people get so tired of just listening to me talk. I need you to find the paper. But here's what I'll say. When you do a side-by-side comparison, because Kristen, she not only, and I mentioned this earlier, like when she was in Neo4j Days, she tremendously grew. But that was her story everywhere she went. She was always a part of growth as far as bringing people in, but not only people, but high-quality people. Mm-hmm. And so the companies strive from that. So, really, though, the foundation or the health of these companies, she built up. She helped build processes to take smaller companies that are growing and put them in a strategic seat to be able to continue that growth, but then also not have their businesses impeded by the fact that they don't have processes in place to deal with a larger workforce. The people that worked with her found her to be a positive reinforcement of the company culture. They said she was a big part of empowerment and retention, which is, that's not all HR. Like, again, HR is there to serve the company, but there are people that are people-centric, people-focused, and do have very high positive impact on the people. I've been to companies where the HR is very helpful. I work for one right now. I think the HR there is really good. And even though they are associated with representing the company, it is very obviously the people that work it are very caring individuals. And I've been to companies where that is not the case, and they're there specifically to enforce process and procedure. She is not one of those people. No. She's a people person, right?
She definitely brings in more of like the nurturing culture and continued retention and all of that.
Here's the other thing, proof in the pudding too. No reported any issues with this woman. I mean, can you imagine? She has a 20 plus year career and nobody's coming out of at least I haven't found it. Nobody's coming out of the woodwork to shit on her. Like that's your story right there.
They also don't show any like impact once she's left a company, whether it be negative or positive. They've sustained their level. Like they've not had any major dips or surges or anything. It's stayed status quo, which can be good and bad, but the positives definitely outweigh the negatives on her.
No, I agree.
I think she figured out how to do
she's
how
a
to
good,
build
she's
it.
a good human. She seems like a good human being.
Yeah.
Can we just say that?
She's looking at the
Strong
bigger
opinion?
picture, not just the like here and now.
I'm sure she's looked at it as like, well, no, I mean, I guess they're both each other's homewreckers in this case. That's interesting. Yeah, they're both each other's homewreckers in this case. But like, I do feel like people tend to be harder on the female when they're caught in an affair rather than the male. At least portrayal in media.
Well, I
could be
think
wrong.
she's going to get a bigger hit because this is her second marriage that ended.
I mean, there's clearly a pattern there of some self-destructive behavior.
Yeah.
For sure. And I can, I have a bias. I can't help it. I know it. I'm sure people are going to listen to this and can tell I don't fucking like this guy. And this girl seems to be a decent human being who made a terrible mistake. And again, that's being very judgmental, but this is a television show.
Where like other people are going to be like, he was really successful, but he stayed with his wife for so long. Like, I don't know how old his children are. I think they're like in high school or something.
Yeah,
like
it sounds
that.
like he was a peach to deal with, where it was so easy to fucking take your last name back about 5 minutes after it happens and fucking fire off yeah. No, this dude fucking blew. And here's the deal. So here's my theory about this. Okay.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think he is just not a good human being, and he has a pattern of behavior and a pattern of representation of only caring about himself, and a pattern of being an aggressive, toxic person.
He's going to get what he wants.
I think she is a person who shows a pattern of codependency, maybe a little bit. Obviously attracted to powerful men, and maybe men of that type of aggressive nature. I think she was taken advantage of a little bit as far as the position that she's in. He's also her boss. So again, you know what I mean? Like, she's not the one in position of power. So I do think the responsibility and the onus lies on him. But I think based on his personality traits, he's the aggressor I guarantee, I shouldn't say guarantee. I am very confident he's the one who pursued the relationship initially. He continued to work on it and groomed it. And then I think she caught feelings, and she has a pattern of seemingly doing this and making quick decisions of jumping to serious.
She's a love to love person.
I mean, it's a nice way of putting it. Yeah, I guess. But I'm not saying she's at fault here too. I'm just saying, like, if I were looking at like, who's the scumbag that like probably pushed this over the edge and got it to where it was, it's him.
Definitely.
Right. And God, guys, if you're listening to this, again, let us know. DoWeHaveTo.com. Feel free to submit a question or in a comment show. Tell us what your opinion is. But I mean, on paper, it's got to be him, right? I mean, it's fucking.
I feel
this
like
guy
it
fucking
is.
blows, right?
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah.
Like, what are your final thoughts as far as like
they are
once
both,
it's all on paper? What do you think?
Here's the deal. They're both adults. They both know right from wrong. They both know what vows they took when they took them. I don't know what happened in her first marriage, how that ended. I don't know how long she's been together with her current husband, except that they got married in 2022. I don't know how long of a dating period they had. However, and I don't know when he got married to his first wife, I guess. But I just feel like you've worked so hard outside. You've built this family. You've built your legacy within that family, and you're throwing it away for both parties. You are throwing away everything you've worked so hard for. You've not really thought about who your truest, largest asset is, and that's at home. That's your spouse. I feel like they're both definitely at equal fault. Do I think he may have probably been the initiator? Absolutely. But she should have had
the wherewithal,
more of a level head
and the loyalty, and the respect for her husband.
She could have set her own boundaries. Like, she allowed her boundaries to be crossed. And for what?
Right. Yeah, I mean, your affair is displayed at the highest level across the entire world. And not only on top of that, though, because then there's just the unmitigated fucking gall of like, I'm Mr. Powerful, I'm Mrs. Whatever, we're going to go off and we're going to fucking flaunt our shit at a fucking concert. That is just so fucking disrespectful. And not only that, you're just shitting on your spouses and your kids and just
Yeah. Like your
embarrassing them
one
in
mistake
front of the whole
just
world. Like,
exploded for everyone to see.
and I think that's the best point is that, and I need to be mindful of this because it's not just cheating on somebody. It's being mindful of you take your family with you in
Everywhere.
every decision you make.
Yeah.
It ain't just whether you're banging somebody else on the side. It is how I'm treating other people, how I'm doing at my job, how I am interacting with somebody, how I help somebody, how I respond in a negative situation, how I handle my like everything we do. You are taking your family with you on that ride,
Because
we have to be mindful of that because it may not be at this level, but with social media, with the ability to get information around, your shit is going to be out there regardless in some sort of fashion. Maybe at a much smaller level, but it's still going to be out there. And you're taking your family with you when you make these decisions.
yeah, and they don't have the choice.
No, they don't. Yep.
Like I think about both of them and their kids. Like there are at least 3, potentially 4 children out there now that have had their whole world just
and everybody knows
implode.
about it. And they're going to be all,
and
they're
everybody knows about it. Their parents became a meme.
and
Their
their
parents
lives are,
became a joke.
their lives and their paths are altered because of the decision these two made to go to a fucking Coldplay concert. You feel
Yeah.
good about that? Like, was it really worth it to go to a fucking, and that's the other thing that just kills me. It really is just the hubris of thinking it's an ego thing. To me, especially from a guy perspective, like thinking you were all powerful and just not giving a fuck about anybody else. And that's the pattern of behavior that's displayed on this paper, which is probably why I am targeting in on him more than anybody else, because he's the type of guy I don't want to become. He's the type of guy that I have the least amount of respect for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's just like guys out there, as far as like from having a male perspective, he's not, I want everybody that listens to the show and myself included to be successful.
But not at the detriment
not at the cost
to others.
of our souls, so to speak. And I
Yeah.
don't mean that necessarily the religious aspect. I mean like of who we are at the core of what we want to be. When we're talking about that personal mission statement, that motherfucker, his must be like a Mein Kampf version, not like fucking, not one where I want to be the best I can for my family and those sorts of things. That was not navigating. But that's why it's important with that personal mission statement to make sure when you are making decisions, no matter how big or small, that you're constantly looking to your North Star of who you want to be, where you want to go, and how you want to see your life ending. And I guarantee you, nobody wants it to end or be thinking about on their deathbed being a part of this shit show.
No.
Yeah. Hey, so can you do me a favor though now? Could we so we've talked about them. I think I've proven my case and I think I'm 100% right. And I think everybody would agree with me that it's really his fault, about 95% of it. And then 5% is her, which is more of a self-destructive pattern rather than being just a horrific piece of shit. And I'm glad I was able to get that information out about him. Mm-hmm. Can we get the thing you found that his wife's allegedly put out there? I know we can't confirm it.
Really quick though, I want to go back just a second.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
So you mentioned his salary and everything, and people have focused in on that, like he gave up just his salary. But
I'm sure he's got stock options and
I was
things
gonna
like
say,
that have vested.
Budget Dog is an accounting company, and one of their CPAs put out like an estimated cost of what this actually will cost him personally. And they did the 500K plus salary, like they took the estimate of it. Mm-hmm. And then they also said that his divorce the divorce would cost him about $25 million.
Yeah, half his net worth, probably close to it.
Yeah. And then about $12 million will be lost from his company.
Oh, potential
stock or his, like the stake within his company.
You know what? You actually make a very good point. And I guess, Andy, if you ever listen to this, which if you do, I'm really sorry that you're probably only going to be have a net worth of just under $20 million. And if you wanted to, you would never have to work again and you could just live out your life and do whatever you want to do that 99.9% of the people have no ability to do. I'm really sorry you're going through that.
Yeah. But like, to me, that's just crazy that he's still going to be
A millionaire?
Yeah.
Why?
Like,
But this is the thing.
that totally fucking sucks.
Nobody be talking about this though if it was Joe fucking Schmo that had $250 in bank account. Let's be real there though too, right? It's
I
getting
know,
the
he's
national
just-
scrutiny
I
and
just
the
feel
world
like he's
scrutiny
still
that it
making
is.
out on pretty good standards.
Yes, the rich prosper. Like what world do you think we're living in? The rich prosper. It's not about being a good person. If you have the resources, you are likely going to come out even in the worst situation.
He's
on
totally
an okay
fine.
side,
Like,
something that somebody on the
unscathed.
outside looking in is like, hey, you have to go through all of this, but you'll end up with $20 million after. Would you do it? There's a lot of fucking people would sign up for it.
Yeah.
So I don't feel bad for this guy. He's going to be okay. Little baby's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope. Anyways.
I would love to fucking fight this dude. Like if there was like a fight club, like I would just fucking, you know how they talk about
fighting
like,
people.
I'm not fighting anybody except for Challenger Burt Kreischer and Bobby Lee. But if there was like a fight club or like, you remember the movie Fight Club where they would talk about like, if you could fight a historical figure, who would it be or whatever, you know, I loved that. I always loved those prospects of those questions. If I could fight a corporate former or now acting CEO, it would be Andy Byron.
Okay.
Who would you fight?
No one.
No, if seriously, if you could fight a past CEO or anybody, who would you fight?
I have one.
Elon Musk?
No.
No, who?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay, I'm just going to say Elon Musk for you though. I think you do really. You know what? No, you could fuck Zuckerberg up really well.
I don't know. I feel like he works out a lot, I think.
He's a boob.
Okay. Anyways, can I read Megan's statement?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Well,
do you mean the thing I asked you for
allegedly.
7 minutes ago?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's cool.
Yeah, okay. So this allegedly came from Megan.
Yeah, allegedly.
I really...
You could sue us if you wanted. We really have nothing. So.
No, please don't
And
sue
Colin's
us.
already taken the equipment. He already threatened.
This is not legally bound to her, just in case.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
We don't know if this is actually her.
I
or
don't
not.
know,
It
but
doesn't have a
I
name on it.
hope
It's not
that it
confirmed.
is. It's not confirmed.
Go ahead.
She states that it has come to my attention and apparently to the attention of half the internet that my husband, Andrew Byron, has made certain choices,
Half the
public
internet.
ones, under stadium lights during a Coldplay concert, a venue not typically associated with infidelity, but here we are. Let me be perfectly
Sounds
clear.
fake.
It kind of does,
Go
but
ahead.
I like the
No.
way
I
it's
think the
stated.
message sounds great, but this is fake. Go ahead.
Okay. I am not issuing this statement in defense nor in heartbreak. I'm issuing it in power, in precision, in silk gloves, and sharpened wit. I will not be engaging in performance forgiveness, nor am I interested in the optics of grace. What Andy has done is not just humiliating, it is banal. Common, a man of ambition brought down by his own astonishing lack of imagination. I have retained counsel. I have reviewed holdings. I have reallocated what was once ours into what is now very clearly mine. I am not spiraling, I am ascending. And while Andy may have quoted Coldplay in his statement, I will simply say, when the lights went out, I saw everything clearly. To those who expect tears, I don't cry for clowns. I schedule, I document, I rebuild. This is not revenge, it is refinement, and he will feel it in the silence that follows.
He had a statement?
He did, but I could not find it.
I don't care. I wouldn't even want to read. I don't want to read anything this guy has to say.
I read it. It came with his resignation.
Sure.
And then I was like, oh, I don't really care to hear what you say. Like, who cares? But then we decided to do a show on it. And so then I was like, crap, I need to go back and find it. And it was gone.
Well, in classic Miller family fashion, I woke up at like 4:00 in the morning on Sunday and I get ideas. I don't write them down all the time, but like if it's something that sticks with me, I will. And this
then
was one where I was like,
you
it just
call
makes
me
sense.
randomly while I'm
Yep.
doing something. I was like,
Well,
I
in this
got
case,
an idea.
you were rolled over and I gave you a little smack on the butt. I was like, we need to do a show on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
But no.
liked.
Final thoughts though. Like overall, and it's very obvious. Like obviously the focus that we wanted to get on, which we didn't get too much into, but it's pretty obvious, right? Like the decisions we make travel with us.
Yeah.
That applies to what we're trying to currently do and what we're trying to talk about currently on our show, which is the self-improvement, self-development, but really carving out what you want your path to be, like with the personal mission statement episode we talked about last week, and carrying that with you going into making decisions.
Yeah. I did a little bit of research on what affairs and divorce do for kids, because now those kids are everywhere. Like everybody knows who those children are now.
Yeah.
And all of their friends are going to know what their parents have done.
And kids are dicks.
And so I just did a quick research on it, and the impact that affairs and divorce can have on children is that they are twice more likely to drop out of school. They are 3 times more likely to have violent or instability within their personal relationships.
Yeah, they're going to take that in their own relationships, seeing fucked up decisions made. Modeling, like we've talked about a million times on the show.
Yeah. They're 4 times more likely to suffer from a mental illness due to this.
Oh, God, I can only imagine.
Sons of those couples have a 35% higher divorce rate in their relationships. Daughters have a 60% higher rate of going through a divorce. And that one struck so hard. I know we have both genders in our family, but we have 2 daughters. And to think that they could accept less than they deserve in a relationship.
Most of us do that. But you're ensuring that that's likely going to be a narrative of their entire life.
Like that vows don't matter.
What was Kristen's upbringing like? You know, that I'm kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and it's really easy I can't really speak to Kristen a lot because and people might shit on me for saying this. I'm a guy. So I have more of an understanding and perspective of being a man. And I don't really like to talk in the perspective of being female. And I do have a tendency to be not softer, but just more mindful of the fact that the world is a lot fucking harder, in my opinion, on women than it is on men. Or it's at least designed to be harder on women as far as when it comes to social construct. Yeah. So
I just, I want people to realize that, like, the way you portray your marriage and your relationship is how your children are going to, like, your parents' relationship is how you view ours. You know what I mean? You strive to have the relationship that your parents have, or one better.
Or you just assume that's what it's supposed to be like, and you're gauging things off
and
of
like
it.
They both just set the standard. Like, vows aren't forever.
Yep.
You can treat your spouse any way you want to. It doesn't really matter. Marriage isn't the end all be all commitment.
Or it could be, hey, it's about what I provide. It's not about how I behave.
Right. And so just think about those ripple effects, because these kids didn't ask to be born. They didn't ask to be brought into the family that they were brought into. They didn't ask to be blown up on social medias everywhere. They didn't ask for their photos to be turned into, evidence of who these people are behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And yet here they are.
Yeah, it's fucked. And again, you're not only making a decision for yourself. I think it's so easy to talk yourself into that. Well, it's just me, or it's whatever, but you're going to affect everything and everyone that you touch.
Those kids are going to go back to school this year, and they're going to be.
Well, I just
the
feel thing
really
is, though,
bad
when you're
for
talking
them.
about affluent families, though, there's probably some mitigation of these things that can happen on easier if it was just a normal family nucleus. But, either way, it's not a good deal. And heart goes out to the people that were involved that unfortunately took the hit without being able to even be a part of that decision-making process.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So if ever, I guess we all can learn from this together as human beings, right? Like, number one, business travels fast regardless. Number two, if you're on a kiss cam and you are with your significant other, I don't know why you think you're so important. I guess this is a really good point. I've been thinking about this a ton. Why not just act like you're a couple? And if somebody notices you, then you address it.
Nobody would have done anything if they didn't react the way they did.
Your egos, you think you're so fucking important that half the stadium at a Coldplay concert is going to recognize her. Now, granted, she's associated with a family, but it's not like that's on a television show or something. You know what I mean? It's not like it's live feed. So for your ego and hubris to be so high to fucking freak out to the point where then all of a sudden, then people are circulating like, oh, these people are clearly unfair. That's how it got. Likely, I don't know. Do you think it even happens if they just act like normal and don't do anything?
I don't think so.
At least not to, or it'll take longer. I guess you have more time to I don't know, mitigate the damage it has on your family. But man, you could give a fuck less. All you could think about was yourself. That was and both of them too. Like, all they thought about was, you could tell they bailed on each other. They weren't even thinking about themselves. You know what I mean? So it's like
they're literally they aren't even picking them. Like, they're not even picking each other in a moment of crisis. They're bailing.
So I guess that's a good point.
They're completely in abandonment mode.
Yeah. It was fuck off, where you're in a movie and you're hanging off a cliff and bad things are happening. I'm getting the fuck out of there. Literally
just goes to show you that relationship isn't worth losing everything that they are now losing.
True. But the good thing is, for the people that on the outside of it, the spouses, they showed their truest colors in the highest form. And so now you can make a decision. Honestly, guilt-free, in my opinion, it should be guilt-free because you didn't do that.
Which is why I really hope that statement is from her, because
it just sounded so
I know it sounded really fake, but like, the message in it is so clear. Like,
no, I agree.
She holds the power now, and she's going to take care of herself and her children. Yeah.
I mean, I think that's what both spouses should be like right now. I mean, honestly, but at the same time, like, they wanted to try to figure it out and make it work. That's one thing, but I'm so hardcore behind the wife changing her name and all that stuff. I think it's awesome.
She is back to her maiden name.
And it's not just women. I think men and women who are treated in that sort of way, I think that is a very appropriate and healthy response and something we should celebrate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I appreciate you doing a deep dive on this, because I know this wasn't anything that was started up. We were really focusing on doing a family mission statement, and that's what we're going to be coming back at with you guys with next week. We're also going to read Colin's personal mission statement, because I did challenge him on the show, and so I was excited he sent that to us today. So thank you, Colin. Appreciate that. So we'll be back on focusing in the next week, but in the meantime, certainly please send us your questions or thoughts on the show. I know we spruced some things, probably were a little repetitive at times, but man, I tell you, it is a topic that I think everybody really has, and I know it sounds dark, has enjoyed talking about.
Yeah.
Because I just saw it and I thought, thank God that's not me. But I tell you what, all the people out there creating memes right now, please keep up the good work. They're fucking fantastic. There was one with Drake and Kendrick. There's been one where, like, it's so good. Yeah. We appreciate all you guys' creativity, and I think it is absolutely fantastic. So look forward to seeing more of that to come, and hopefully we all learn from this, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing.
Just remember, you are a representative of your family, no matter what you do, where you go. The moment you said, I do, it no longer becomes about you. And
like I said, it did give me a wake up, not just from a cheating perspective. I think it's just so easy to be like, well, you don't cheat, and then you're a good husband.
No, every decision.
No, I mean, like, I can just think of 20 million things I've done, like just a few weeks ago, yelling at those teenagers. I'm like, oh,
that was months ago, but that's
months
fine.
ago. Either way, it feels like weeks ago. I'd love to do it again. But now thinking about it, though, it's like I'm representing you out there. I'm representing the kids, and even if I feel justified in what I'm doing, I have to think more than just outside of myself and my own personal thoughts and what satiates me at the time, that whatever's going through my head. Yeah. we have to be more mindful of that. Everything is so individual driven and especially quick satisfaction, no delayed gratification in this world at all with how things are set. So yeah, it's just one of those things. So we can learn from this. I mean, even though it's a lot of funny memes and that kind of shit, and we shitting on these people quite a bit, you actually can. This is where, if you want to be a better person, you take this and you can kind of enjoy it for sure. But then you have to separate it out and say, how can I learn from this?
Yeah.
And I think that's the overall telling message is that also you reap what you sow, you fucking asshole. Stop being a fucking asshole to everybody. And like I said, if you want to fight, I'll gladly do it.
Please don't. Good guy.
And that, I think, is a good representation of the Miller family. You think people would hate on me for fucking taking a swing at that guy? I doubt it.
Probably not.
I don't know. He looks like he's in good shape.
I don't know. Anyways.
Challenge would be fun.
We've got Peloton to chat about really
And I was going to
quick.
say, when it comes to self-improvement, right, and trying to be your best self, as Arnold Schwarzenegger would say, exercise is the key to everything. And I really do believe that. And if you guys ever get a chance on the Netflix show, they did a documentary series on Arnold, 3 episodes. It was fantastic. Highly recommend it. But it's a key to everything. It's what gave him the foundation to be the successful person it is. Seamus and I are on day 81 today of lifting and running every single day.
Yeah.
And
I think I'm on day 4.
hey, it doesn't matter where you are. You could be on day 1 today. Get up and go do it. Just do it. And that's what I'm saying. It has not been perfect every day. It is not going.
One
but I
day
tell
or
you
day
what,
1?
Last month, a couple days ago, a month prior, I had ran 222 miles total. And I've never done it before. And it's not because I'm just motivated and just want to get out and go grab it. Nope. It's just because I get up and no matter what I'm feeling or how I'm doing, I just know I'm going to go do it. And I go do it and I do it no matter what's going on. And everybody can do it. That's the best part. Nothing's stopping you. But I will tell you, you get to day 60, 50, and I think this is a good, now I can tell you from experience, you're not going to notice any changes. But man, once you start past day 45, it almost seems like then you can start really seeing the effects that it has on there. And that's not with any real change of diet or anything. You need to watch your diet because that's like they say 80% of, where you want your physical goals to be. But even with that, what we're doing, like I notice physical changes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we want to talk about our wonderful Do We Have To crew team that we have on Peloton. It is growing. We're getting really, really close to that century mark. We've had new people join all throughout the week, and we have our newest top 20 from the week prior. Do you have that, Em, or do I have it?
You have it.
Hold on, let me find it. I'm so sorry. Do we have to crew? Oh, here we go. Okay, in first place, and you guys are going to be super surprised by this. It's Krabby Cakes from London. Our wonderful, one of our first, actually, I want to say she was one of the first 4 people to join the team. She's been a loyal team member the entire time. She's training for the Chicago Marathon, 17 hours and 10 fucking minutes. And I really thought I was going to beat her. And I think at one point I was leading her, and I don't know what happened, but I got second, 17 hours, 3 minutes working out. Barbie Gal from Kansas City, who was first place the previous week, in third, 16 hours and 25 minutes. Fourth from Kansas City, Pelladonna Soras. I love that name. Fifth place, Rock Chalk Stelts, 7 hours, 4 minutes. Not going to hold against you, your KU fan. Not a runner, Katie, Iowa Raised Kansas teacher, 6 hours and 37 minutes. 7, Shanna Banana Can. You Run, I Hike. Oh, I like that. 6 hours and 30 minutes. Kelsey Lifts out of Garwood, Texas, 5 hours and 28 minutes. Pello Junkie, 5 hours and 15 minutes from Tacoma, Washington. Crazy Spid Legs, another one of the classic Do We Have To crew members, out of Orlando, 5 hours and 12 minutes. Relentless KC with that hot selfie picture with his shirt off, 4 hours and 29 minutes. Inspired Jayhawk out of the Kansas City area, 4 hours and 10 minutes. Michaela Bryan, 3 hours and 59 minutes out of KC. Go Unicorn Go, Emily's personal favorite. KC, 3 hours and 20 minutes. KC Lawma, which again, dowehavето.com. Let us know about the legality behind her, Kristen not getting fired. Yeah. 3 hours and 12 minutes. Chiefs Chick 816, 3 hours and 5 minutes out of Kansas City. Vito 63 out of Mississippi. Vito, 3 hours and 2 minutes. KT Mack out of Nebraska. Go Big Red, 2 hours and 46 minutes. Stacy Osterthun, MIZ, ZOU, 2 hours and 46 minutes. Raising Cane 08, Maryville, Missouri, home of the Bearcats, 2 hours and 36 minutes. Fit Queen Lisa out of Overland Park, Kansas, 2 hours and 20 minutes. And then Irish Mexi out of Kansas City, 2 hours and 10 minutes. Congrats, everybody, on the Do We Have To crew. We'll keep announcing weekly the top 20 from the previous week. So feel free to join. If you use the Peloton app, you don't need to have the devices. You don't need to have the fucking bike or anything like that. You can purchase the app. You can use it to track you GPS-wise, your strength training workouts, and it will all count to our challenges. And starting in August, we'll have the challenge for the most workouts, I believe. That's upcoming.
Yeah. There's still like one going on this week too that I made.
Yeah, it's ending up. But yeah, I mean, typically when we're announcing it tracks the previous week's activity in time. And that's typically what we announce.
Yeah.
Get out there. Get working
You
out.
can follow Sean on Peloton at Do We Have To Pod KC, or you can follow me at Emily_in_KC. Join our Do We Have To team at Do We Have To crew, I think. I don't know. Anyway.
What's that?
I don't know.
No, there's a hashtag Do We Have To crew if you want to have it as your label. Like when you're on Peloton, you can have a label next to your
the
name.
Do We Have To team.
We have a Do We Have To crew team. So there's
Yes.
a team section now in Peloton. It's actually fairly new, and we're actually one of the larger teams in the area. You can join that specific team. But also, if you want to represent us out in public, put that hashtag Do We Have To crew out there.
And Peloton doesn't sponsor us, but if you want to,
God,
we're open
plug
for
you
it.
quite a fucking bit, Peloton.
We're really here for
Just give
it.
us a gift card. Get some new bike shoes.
Or something.
And where
Anyways,
else, besides Peloton, of course, where else can you get information on the show, see videos, shorts, and
you
be able to
can
access
go
us?
to dowehavето.com to submit your questions and comments. And then you can use YouTube at Do We Have To A Marriage Podcast.
Video of the show.
Yeah. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at do.we.have.to. On X, you can do we have to pod. And TikTok is at Do We Have To A Marriage Pod.
And to all the wonderful Do We Have To crew, thank you guys so much for joining us today. We'll see you next week where we tackle the family mission statement. And we will go into that and provide you an example of what we're going to be utilizing at the Miller family household.
Yeah. Do you have your little leave everybody with quote?
Leave everybody with, oh, no, you know what? I really hadn't actually, because I got so involved in the research, because you only have so much limited time. This is it's not a job. It's a passion for Emily and I, what we do, but it is a second job. And so I did actually spend a lot of time researching, which I'm not normally very good about. And I am really good about looking up quotes. And I did not do that today. How about you?
I did.
What's that?
So I was really into the limited series on Netflix called Sirens. And spoiler alert, the end of the show, there's a quote that says, "Don't be the fool that falls."
Oh, you're going to do it again where you're going
Don't be the fool that falls for the assistant. And I thought that was...
Don't be a fool that falls for the assistant. Oh, yeah. Julianne Moore.
Yeah.
That was good. By the way, Sirens are fucking dope.
It was a really good show.
Yeah, yeah, that was fun.
I thought that
was good. Don't be a
really
fool
well.
falls for the assistant. That's really good. That is really, really good. You know, all I could think of while I was researching these two, and I was thinking about her as far as what her relationship journey's been. I thought of Paul Rudd in Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Oh,
We accept the love that we feel we deserve.
yeah. She's getting a lot of it.
Well, I mean, as far as like, it's not in a defense of her, just in general, as far as the things that we take on in relationships or even how we represent ourselves in relationships is our own mindset about ourselves. And if we're not trying to improve ourselves, we're going the other direction. And that's how we're going to represent ourselves in our relationships with our families.
Yeah.
I love you, Rosebud. And to
Love
the
you
Do We
too.
Have To crew, we absolutely love you as well. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Be kind and don't be an asshole.
Wake up, I'm about to shake up every little thing, show you all that we can be. Come dance in my club.